Gary, it's a pretty significant year for 2009 for Formula One, and one of the major changes is this thing we keep hearing about or reading about called KERS. What is KERS?
Well, KERS is basically a system that stores up the energy that, or the negative energy, I suppose, that's created during braking. So whenever the driver goes on the brake pedal, for an example, it would be, to simplify it, like a big alternator on the clutch shaft between the engine and the gearbox. And when the driver goes on the brake pedal, that alternator will start to charge the battery system up. When it comes off the brake pedal, goes back on the throttle, it has the opportunity to dissipate that energy that's in the battery back into that same electric motor and drive the rear wheels. So it adds to the horsepower that the engine can give. So it's a means of harnessing the wasted energy during braking, which is huge. I mean, it's enormous the amount of energy is wasted. But it's the system that they're having for Formula One is controlling that a bit. It's not allowed to be too dramatic, so there are regulations to it.
Now, you obviously keep an eye on what's going on. What's the word coming from the street, if you like, in Formula One about the KERS systems for this year? Who's looking good, who's not looking so good, and who's keen to run it, who's perhaps hedging their bets a bit?
Well, I'd be surprised if all the cars end up on the grid in Australia with KERS on it. There are various different systems going on. BMW seems to be the one that's instigating it, keeping it going, keeping the ball rolling. And I think Toyota, Ferrari are probably the least interested, to be honest. So I think the others in the middle are sort of like standing in the middle and they'll go anyway. I don't see what it's going to do. There is this big fad that it joins the Green Club, but it doesn't really join the Green Club because it doesn't take anything away from the actual energy used with the engine or the fuel. So it's an add-on to what already exists. And as an add-on, it's just a huge budget. I mean, there's talks of people spending up to 50 million on KERS and down to probably 5 million on KERS. But either way, it's a huge, huge cost to Formula One. And at a time whenever the economy doesn't need that, it seems to me the simple thing would be for the FIA to step in and say, look, you know, we'll put it off for a year, we'll put it off for 2 years or something, just to settle down a little bit, because the teams will only spend the money they've got. And if they have to spend it on that, something else will suffer.